All right, welcome back. Thanks so much for sticking with us here on Evening Plus. I'm joined now by Lindsay Starks with Bronson's Mother's Milk Bank, which is a local Michigan nonprofit here in our area. Lindsay, thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having us.
Okay, so we're talking tonight because you guys have just launched this new milk bank location in Cutlerville. But I want to kind of rewind a little bit in case folks at home aren't familiar with what you guys are all about, how your organization operates. Can you kind of give me the logistics on what a milk bank is and what it does here in our community?
Absolutely. We connect with moms across the state who have an excess supply of breast milk that they are not going to use for their own kiddo, and we screen them, we chat with them, we talk about their lifestyles, medications, things like that, and we onboard them as donors. And from there, the milk comes to our milk bank. Once it gets to our milk bank, it's processed, sorted, tested, and we do all of the pasteurizing right down in Kalamazoo. We label it and send it out after it's tested to 25 hospitals in Michigan and 7 throughout the country.
So incredible. And I want to, if someone may be in need here, I want them to know, what sort of scenarios may benefit from something. So, you're hearing about this, okay, there's milk donors. What kinds of situations may women be in that would require them to, look for this kind of help?
Sure. Most of our milk goes to NICUs for, infants that are born sick or really early. Other than that, any family that is breastfeeding and just might not have enough, might be going on a business trip, or mom gets sick and doesn't have enough in the freezer, they can contact us. We are helping families with moms who have cancer that have to go undergo treatment and can't use their own milk and have to stop breastfeeding. Any scenario, they can contact us and we will donate as much as we can, as often as we can, to families in need.
And I know that's something that can be really difficult for women if it happens to be a production issue where they're just not producing enough breast milk for whatever reason. There can be so many, and you guys are there to help in this situation to still provide that breast milk, even though it's coming from another woman in our community.
Totally. It gives them such a peace of mind to be able to work on increasing their supply, or just to know that their caregivers for their babies will be able to use breast milk, and it's safe and it has all the great nutrition in it that they would get from their own mom's milk, and it's a great way to bridge the gap.
And I know there could be concerns, which you were kind of explaining on, that you guys are intaking this and testing it and pasteurizing it and all of that. Can you talk a little bit more just about what that process looks like? If it's like, okay, I'm getting breast milk from a stranger, maybe I'm a little worried.
Sure. You
guys have quite a process to that.
We do. Our donors are all triple screened. They start with a phone screen. They have an email form that they fill out. They have lab work that gets done. All of our donors are checked for the same labs every time. And then their healthcare provider also signs off stating that they're healthy and there's no concerns. And our medical director also signs off just to make sure everything looks good. And all of the milk is tested every time for safety before it's pasteurized, as well as after, before it's sent out for use.
Yeah, a really thorough process. Okay, and so if someone is in need of milk, what does that process look like?
They just call us or email us and we connect them, get the information that we need. We do need a prescription if it's going to be over 100 ounces, but anything under 100 ounces is good for us to just handle on our own. We ship it across the state and beyond. So if they're local, they can stop in and pick it up anytime. Otherwise, we'll ship it right to their door.
Wow, right to their home.
Yeah.
Okay, and so you guys already have several locations. You guys have been around for almost 20 years-ish?
The milk bank opened in 2006.
Yeah, so almost there. And you guys just opened a new depot location in Cutlerville. So walk me through what, you guys have the milk bank and then you have the depot locations. What's the difference there between those sites?
The milk bank is where we do all of our screening, processing, pasteurizing, shipping, and receiving. The depots are really great for our donors because it gives them the accessibility to be able to drop off more frequently. When our donors have to ship, it's hard if they're working or they have other kiddos and things like that. It really is a barrier. So having a local spot where they can drop off with better hours, closer to home, less hassle.
Make it convenient.
Yeah,
Sure.
so that gets us more milk quicker and we can process it and send it out.
And so this new location in Cutlerville, what brought this about? Were you guys just expanding? Were you, looking to expand, trying to, make locations easier for folks? What was sort of the push here for this new spot?
We collaborated with Corewell Health on the Beltline for our first depot in Kent County. We have a ton of donors in Kent County, which is so amazing. And so we really wanted to find some locations that were really convenient for them. And the partnering with the first Corewell went so well that we decided to see if they'd be interested in another location. We have a lot of donors, Wyoming, Byron Center, and that's a really close option for a lot of those donors as well.
Yeah. So exciting. And this location is already open or soon to open? Already open.
It's open. Yeah,
Amazing.
Absolutely. So our approved donors can drop off there anytime.
Very cool. And I know you guys have sort of another program, another project that deals with bereavement that you wanted to talk about. It, a special program that you guys provide as well. Can you walk me through what that looks like?
Sure. When we think about milk donation, we think about healthy moms who have an excess of milk that their babies won't need. There also is an unfortunate situation when families are bereaved. We do have a program for our bereaved families. So if there is a loss of a child and they would like to donate their milk, we have a mural in the lobby of our hospital. It is a beautiful tree, and each baby gets a leaf on the tree, and it's all hand etched by a local artist to Kalamazoo. And we host a bereavement ceremony once a year for all of the new names that get added and bring those families together just to let them know how thankful we are for that. So, if there is ever a need for a bereaved family, we've gotten feedback that it really helps in their grief journey, and it kind of gives a sense of purpose in a really dark time for them. So
yeah, I was going to say an unimaginable situation, but continuing to help the community and help other babies, really incredible. And on the side of, when you have donors who are then able to help moms who are in need of milk for whatever reason, what's just been the response, the reaction that you guys see to making that connection for, families that need it?
Yeah, the recipients of donor milk are so thankful. We get comments all the time about how they have been able to thrive just because they don't have to worry as much about that. Their babies are still getting all of this great nutrition. We do share with our donors where their milk goes to hospitals and, if it's an outpatient family, things like that. And the response from our donors knowing how far their milk has reached has been really cool too. So we supplied some donor milk to a hospital in Arkansas, and one of our donors was so excited that it went there because her brother lived there. And it's really cool to connect them because there are so many connections throughout, the state and beyond for our donors.
And so you guys are collecting and distributing milk here in Michigan, but also outside of Michigan.
Yep.
How far does that reach kind of spread?
Yeah, we have hospitals in Indiana, Illinois, Connecticut, 4 in South Carolina, and then 2 in Arkansas. So
wow, that is incredible. Is there anything I'm not asking that you want, someone who may not be familiar with the work that you guys do just to know about this whole process?
There's just not a lot of nonprofit milk banks, and our donors are absolutely incredible people, and we are so thankful for them because we can't do any of this work without them.
Right.
And we are just so appreciative of that. And if anybody is interested, we try and make the process pretty easy and streamlined, and we're happy to answer any questions, and we are really thankful for our amazing community of donors.
Absolutely. And again, walk me through the locations that you guys have just so folks at home know that.
We have the milk bank in Kalamazoo at Bronson. We have a depot in Portage at Rambling Road on Center Street. We have a depot in Battle Creek at an OBGYN office on Capitol, and then we have the new one in Cutlerville at the Corwell OBGYN, as well as the Corwell on the Beltline at the OBGYN.
Yeah, so really spanning from Kalamazoo up here to us, in Kent County. Amazing.
Yes.
Okay, well, thank you so much for joining us. I learned so much. Hopefully people at home learned or got some resources that could be really helpful.
Yes.
Thanks so much for being here on Evening Plus, and hopefully we can get you guys some more donors, or some folks who may be in need can really take advantage of the services you guys provide.
Absolutely.
Lindsay, thank you.
Thank you.
We are going to take a quick break, and then we're going to talk all things Whitecap's opening day with Colton and Jacob. Give us just a second.